question then is, what are we actually seeing in the market? Are prices actually coming down? Obviously, I just said a second ago, Aaron, that we're seeing about 14, almost 15% of listings price reduce, and only about 25% close at or below list price, 75% over. So that's what we're seeing. But let me ask you, Ian and Sarah, what are we actually seeing in the market? Because I just wrote a contract for myself. We went over list price and did a lot of fun things in the contract to make it work. So I personally got into that good, fun multiple offer, but are you still seeing a lot of multiple offer stuff?
You know, I've seen a little of both, right? I just submitted an offer for a quadplex, lost it. So that was one. I was like, I thought this was going to be easy. There are a couple investment off-market opportunities. We can't compete. And I'm thinking these aren't, I mean, I thought they were priced a little aggressively already. And so, so there is still some strength out there. But another thing that we always have to keep in mind is that there is still such a lag from the new builds that's still going to impact our numbers still for a few months. There are people that purchased last year and still have not closed, and their prices are still going to increase
on and off market, like new builds.
On and off, absolutely, on and off market. So, we still have some guessing to do because of that.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I'm still seeing a lot of multiple offers, but now I'm seeing opportunity with a lot of these builders. Janie on my team just put somebody under contract today, a client under contract today. And that was a multiple offer. A week ago, she put somebody under contract on a new construction, no bids. Eileen, same thing, builder, no bids. Patrick on my team, he's got a listing that's been on the market for 2 weeks, no offers yet. So, there are some opportunities. Properties are not what?
Send it to me. Why not?
It's down by Canyon Lake. It's like $885. So, but
listen, if it's an investment opportunity, that's the thing. It's like Canyon Lake right now. That's a beautiful spot.
Great, and it's a gated community.
It's a beautiful spot. So that's an opportunity for the educated person.
It's so nuts because like we used to close properties in Canyon Lake like maybe 3-4 years ago, and they were like 200,000.
These are crazy.
I'm actually going out there soon. I love it out there.
It's great. I have a client that's trying to buy Airbnbs out there right now, so we're kind of looking at stuff as well. So, but the thing is, like, if you buy in a gated community, most likely you're not going to be able to do Airbnb. So.
Oh my gosh, I have a friend that's in town right now, and he got an Airbnb. I was like, you can stay in my camper. He's like, no. So he got an Airbnb. The rules on the Airbnb were like, hey, don't tell anybody, don't mention Airbnb to anybody. If the neighbors or anyone asks, just say you're a friend from out of town. I was like, that's good. That was good.
Well, the rule, like somebody in my neighborhood's like, hey, we're trying to get an Airbnb license for our property here in the neighborhood. I'm like, I don't even think you can do that, because I have another client who is doing like short-term rentals in my neighborhood. Potentially, I might have a really cool pool in the cool house with a pool, 3,000 square feet, balcony for rent, maybe for sale, 1.2 million. If you want to hit me up, 1.3, shoot it my way. But, we might have a good one to rent in Circle C. Or if you feel froggy, you want to give me 1.3. We'll work something out. Sorry. I mentioned I'm moving.
I was wondering, like, if with like we were talking about, like the multiple offers, and if we think with the listings, like prices getting decreased, if you think that those pricings for those individual listings are going in like just too hot and too aggressive to begin with, and that's why we're seeing those decreases, or if it is an actual change in the market.
That's a good question. What do you think, Ian?
I'm sorry, I was responding to John's comment. What did you say? Hey, at least I'm honest.
I was just saying that, we're talking about how, percentage of these listings, like we're seeing price decreases. And if you think that the price decreases are because people are pricing too aggressively because they're used to everything going above asking and just want to be kind of maybe a little greedy and want more and more, and they're just like priced too high, or if it truly is like a change that we're seeing in the market with pricing and if prices are actually going down.
It's a really good question.
I don't know that I have obviously I don't have accurate stats around that particular thing, but so if we take the combination of builders knowing they can price things more aggressively, new realtors seeing trends, existing realtors saying, I have no idea, let's look at the comps don't matter, and adding all those together, I think in the last 14 months to 2 years, it's absolutely been, let's just go higher and see let's just go higher. It's fine. Well, and then it works. And so I think we are at a point where you can't just go higher. We've seen that happen with Open Door.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a comment.
There's so many houses. There's so many houses right now with Open Door that have been sitting there for like 50 to 100 days on the market. And I'm like, they're not even playing on the same field. I don't know what's happening. They're way off their rocker with the pricing for some of those.
Yeah. I mean, well, if somebody, right here, wrote the Open Door preliminary offer for their house went down 7%. Those are just inflation numbers. Don't even press the actual numbers. But on my housing market here, I think, to answer Sarah's question real quick, I think people saw this huge jump from 565 to 624 and went, okay, cool. Now we're going to price at 650. So if you were on this median price and you at the beginning of the year were 550 and then 624, and you go, okay, cool, the next month's going to be 650 and price on the 650, that's where a lot of the overpricing is happening. That, and then you have a lot more people being more careful about what they're purchasing. I'm one of those people. I was very, very careful. Like, my wife wanted me to show homes that were well in the $1 million range. And I was like, and for everything that I'm spending on this house, I'm going to have to spend all this for a pool. I'm going to have to do all this other stuff. It's just not worth it to me. And then finally found a home that fit all those boxes that was a little bit not as crazy. So I think buyers now are going to be a little more careful, and they're going to get more of what's in the check boxes of their list and not go outside of the list and go crazy just because they need a house. They're going to be a lot more careful. So sellers, you have to be a lot more careful when you're listing right now, because if you think you're going to go crazy and list crazy, I'm just warning you, it may not be in your best interest.
I like that though. I feel like I like that people are going to go in and buyers are now being like, okay, I am spending this large amount of money. I want to make sure it's worth it. And at this point, especially the rates and everything are where they are, you're probably going to stay there for a while. Most likely. It's not just going to be, okay. And, there are still people are going to be there for the first like 3 to 5 years and then move. But, I feel like a lot more people that I've talked to are looking for more forever homes and less like, okay, this is my intro home, So I like that methodology, and I'm glad that there's less FOMO out there and that people are starting to be like, okay, do these hit my checklist? I'm glad you're seeing that too, because it makes me feel better for the buyer.
Well, and I think the trend that we'll see, and Ian, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the trend we'll start seeing is a lot of those people. So you're still going to have cash investors picking up properties in the, 600 and under price point, right? So you're still going to have, we'll call it 500 and under price point. So you're still going to have that, but there will be a lot more loosening of how many buyers are actually buying in the 500 to 600 price point. And so you'll start to see, instead of like on these like 450 properties, you'll stop probably seeing 20 offers and start seeing 3. So you know, you're not going to have to go $100,000 over to compete. Maybe go $40,000 over to compete. I mean, what do you think, Ian?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think that it's just going to decrease the amount of the amount of instant competition, people that are relying on instant gratification and just, I need a house right now. They're going to take a little more time to make a decision, an informed and educated decision. I mean, if they're watching this channel, that's already step 1, right? If they're calling Sarah, that's step 2. And
or one of us, Ian, that's like step 1 or 2. It's high priority.
I mean, yeah, 1.5 or something. So I do like what you said, Sarah. I think there's so much joy for an early buyer, and even somebody relocating, like let's say they're moving up. Any buyer, let me take a step back. Almost any buyer that is not an investor generally gets joy from purchasing their home when they get, especially if they get to design it and choose the things they want in their home. Yeah. And we've been robbed of that in the last couple of years, because it's like, oh, you didn't make a decision. Sorry. Oh, you sneezed, gone. And so now people are getting back to the opportunity that they wanted, like the American dream.
Thanks for watching this short of the Real Amigos podcast. For more live streams, hit here. For more clips, hit here. We'll catch you on the next one.